We're good?
Clear. I hear you clear. Yeah,
Good
yeah,
deal.
yeah. You're good. How you doing?
All right. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. I feel good about my hair now, because I've been getting a lot of jokes, from my friends because I cut off all my hair. But just seeing you, like, I'm actually feeling really good. And I'm feeling really positive right now.
Yeah, man. Bald is beautiful.
It is. It brings out the best in me. You know, I'm.
Uh,
I know he's supposed to be live right now, but I'm gonna say a quick joke. Like my wife, she likes it, right? But me, when I cut it in 2020 because of COVID and I had interviews and you got to look presentable, right? I didn't want to let it go. I wanted to hold on to it. I know it was fading. It was looking bad. Like it had like little spots and stuff. But I wanted to hold on to it. But I just had to let it go.
yeah. Hey, that's the hard part. You gotta let it go sometimes.
Right.
Yeah,
Hey, I
yeah.
lost mine shaving down one time. I went a little too close,
Uh-huh.
and it never came back.
But I'm sure Kimmy loved it, right? So it was all good.
You know, a little bit.
Right. I don't know if
Huh?
it's us or him. It's breaking up
Yeah.
a little bit, and I'm
I'm not
trying to
sure.
determine if it's us or you.
Mhm. I'm not sure. But it looks like
Do
it's
we
good right
sound
now.
broken? Hello to you?
Yeah, you sound broken a little bit. How do I sound?
It sounds choppy a little bit.
LTE.
I think that it might be.
Okay.
Okay. Better now?
Yeah.
Somebody said it's better now. Okay, good deal.
All right. Excellent. So how you guys feeling today? How you guys doing?
We're
Very
doing pretty
well.
good. Doing
Thank
pretty
you. How are
good.
you?
Life is good.
Okay, good, good. I know one of the I'm gonna let the audience know because I know your guest is on here, my guest is on here. So my name is Keishorne Scott. I'm an author, speaker, heartbreak coach. I help men and women heal from relationships that weren't worth saving. And that's what I do as a profession and full time and also creator and social media and all the other good stuff from those stuff. But what do you guys do separately? And I want to start with Kimmy first because I know that I read up on you. I know you do some amazing things, and I knew you guys from before that, way before that. But then now with Courtney and stuff, it's like, oh shoot, I get to talk to them personally and ask my questions that I had in the back of my mind while watching the show and stuff like that. Not too deep though, but you get the point. Yeah.
So I'm a nurse by trade.
Hmm.
I'm a registered nurse. I have my master's degree in executive management. That's what I've done for probably the better part of my career in community service and home health. Secondary to that, for the longest time, which is primary now, was real estate. I was a real estate agent. I recently took and passed my brokerage license, and we're opening up a new brokerage, 𝐦𝐨𝐿 Property Solutions. I also have a catering company with my best friend because I like to cook.
Hmm.
So we do a fair amount of cooking around. I have a book, actually, Kimmy's Kitchen, that is a digital ebook that I just recently put out as well that people are able to garner. More than that, I guess I'm his right-hand man.
Oh, man.
I kind of help a lot with all his businesses as far as the paperwork side of it, organizational side of it. Um, and I'm also the property manager for our business condo.
Hmm.
So we
Okay.
have a couple of residential properties that we
Yeah.
manage, but this is our first step into the pond of business condos.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful, and that's where the partnership comes into, right? I think my wife, she sent me a email one day, and she said, and we didn't send emails. I don't know why she sent me emails. She could have texted, and she said, "Hey, let's get some rental properties, man. Let's get into real estate." And I was like, "Listen, I don't know the first thing about real estate or anything like that, so I'm not going to get into it, lose money or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You have to actually sit down with people like you guys and say, hey." Let's see how we can make this work, or what do I need to do, or how can we invest in something, you know. Papa, give me 1 second. Go to grandma, go to grandma, go to grandma, go to grandma. You know what's so funny? I knew she was gonna wake up. I knew it. And in the back of my head, as I'm talking, I'm still thinking, I hope she doesn't wake up. I hope she doesn't wake up. Usually she'll come right in the camera and sit on my lap, and she wouldn't care. So and that's what she said, right? And I was like, you know what, that sounds like a lot. You know, but you guys are moguls. You guys seem like you're building an empire, you know, in there. So Maurice, tell me more about what you do.
I'm a consumer lawyer,
Hmm.
and ultimately the reason why I even became a lawyer, it wasn't like I grew up wanting to be a lawyer. I'm a consumer advocate, and a lot of people don't understand about a lot of the economic power and economic justice that we have. We understand, um, we understand civil rights. We don't understand consumer rights.
Mm.
Okay, civil rights make us equal, or strive to make us equal as far as our person, right? Economic justice and consumer rights try to make us equal when it comes to our money. And I
Yeah.
think that I really believe that the missing link between um, where we stand in this country is actually economic justice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a problem solver by nature. I became a real estate investor early on. I still invest in real estate. I invest in businesses. Everything that I believe in is about solving problems for our community.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think that that's entrepreneurship too, right? At some kind of
Mhm.
level is problem solving and finding solutions to problems. And I think that's how a lot of millionaires and billionaires is because they solve problems and they fix things that sometimes we didn't even know existed. We didn't even know that we needed social
Mhm.
media, social media. We didn't know that we needed
Right,
the internet. We didn't know we needed, you know, to scroll up and down in 15-second videos at this age. I never knew this was going to be so big. So they solve a problem, which is, you know, we're nosy people and we love to be in other people's business. And we like to see
right.
that, right? But what I'm thinking now, as I'm listening to you both, is that how aligned you guys are. And I don't know if you heard that before, but it feels like you guys like fit in. You know, just hearing her side, Kimmy's side, and then hearing your side, it seems like you guys complement each other in a huge way. How important is that in business and entrepreneurship?
I think that it's extremely important. And we actually had an interview with Kev on stage,
Hmm.
and he had like a mix. He said somebody's usually the kite, and the other person, you know, is the I don't want to say the anchor, but they're the tail,
Hmm.
the string, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the kite. Kimmy anchors me to make sure that it works. So I have like an idea to solve a problem, and then she helps me think through it, and she's also meticulous. You know, and you have to have a partner in any business that is the bean counter, the person that's meticulous, the person that makes sure that the idea doesn't get lost in its execution.
Mm.
So she executes very well,
Hmm.
and she also helps me filter through some bad ideas.
Hmm. They always do it in the most humble, calm, calm way. Kimmy? So how do you
Mhm.
feel you fit in that equation and what Amori just said?
I concur. I concur. The interview he's referencing was really on point for a lot of things in our relationship. And that example was dead on as
Hmm.
far as the ideas he'll wake up with in the morning. Um, and to be fair, 99% of them are multi-million dollar ideas.
Hmm.
And I don't necessarily disagree with his ideas. What we typically get pullback on is, you know, how to get from A to Z. You know, our method
Hmm.
sometimes is a little different. And so that's where we may have some extended conversation, but it's very few ideas that I think are just not great.
Yeah. So who's the one that always have the ideas? Is it Maurice that always come with the ideas? Hey, I was just thinking about something a minute ago, and I want you to listen to this. Is that?
He has the majority.
Mm.
He has the majority. I think I come up with a couple.
She
Uh-huh.
comes up with some good
I come up
ideas.
with a couple. But he has the majority of the ideas. He's creative in that fashion, and he has vision. You know, a lot
Hmm.
of what I have is meticulous, like
Hmm.
he said, but I'm a person that kind of has to see it. Like once I see it, then that helps me kind of generate the momentum to kind of get it moving. He has a lot more foresight in being able to see down the road what he expects this business or this venture to look like.
Hmm. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Do you see a correlation between the business and the relation and your marriage itself? Like certain things.
Um,
Mm,
I mean, our marriage, it's like our marriage is our business.
Yeah.
We work together all day and we're home together all night. So they do kind of melt into one another
Yeah.
by definition. And in our house, he's the leader of our house. So, you
Yeah.
know, he has a lot of ideas and visions for that. Creatively is probably me for inside the house.
Yeah.
As far as the vision, you know, of what I want our home, our little comfort zone to look like. But I think it's almost a blurred line between home and work at this
Yeah.
point.
But I see so much like correlation within it based on what you were just saying and he was saying, right? And when you guys are talking about the business, it's like you guys are talking about this powerful connection that you have that kind of washes its way back into the relationship as well. Like you mentioned vision, you mentioned problem solving, and you mentioned what you didn't mention, but you did mention kind of communicating with each other and going back and forth and bouncing off ideas and letting each other know, you know what, that's a good idea, but let's just put that on hold and move on to this, or stick on this one idea and make sure this is fully manifested, and then we jump on to the next one, right? Like me, I'm an idea person. I'm all over the place, and I'm not like, I'm all over the place, right? Like I will have this idea before you know it, like this idea, like this stream, and then, you know, I'll try to convince my wife to kind of see my vision, and sometimes she doesn't see it because all she does is makeup. Like that's her makeup, clients, TV, something like that. So when I'm telling her it, right, and maybe you can help me with this problem, right? You guys are my therapist tonight. So, so what happened is when she doesn't see my idea, I shut down. Full transparency. Full transparency. I shut down. And then I feel as if she doesn't like my idea, but I don't know if she understands it, right? But as soon as I tell her and I feel like I'm not getting the same energy that I'm telling her, I automatically assume that she does not care, and I just move away and I just don't say anything anymore. So is that me problem?
I guess for what I got out of it is it's similar to me. When I first started with Kimmi, I figured I figured she was a dream killer, really. So I started shutting down, you know, and not sharing the idea. And I think that God gives gifts to the creators, right? Ideas they're almost like signals, right? That are out there in the world. There's a problem that needs to be solved, and God is communicating this to those that are in tune. Okay, this is also why I believe that, is because you'll see an idea that you didn't work on later on, and you'll say, "Oh man, I remember when I had that idea." So you might have an idea, an invention, whatever, but it's whoever's in tune that's going to work that idea. So I say that to say this. I had to learn how to package it. You know, you're communicating to a person who can't see that vision, right? So it's no different than communicating to someone who's in the dark. If you know how to navigate in your bedroom in the dark, right? I wouldn't know how to navigate in your bedroom in the dark. So because you do this consistently every day, and you wake up and you see it, you know exactly where to go to get to the light switch, right? Once the light switch is on, everybody sees it, right?
Everybody sees it.
So the ability to walk a person through that darkness to the light switch is that's the process I think that you might have to take with your wife to help easily communicate your vision. And once you turn on the light switch, everything's good.
All right.
So and you have to be open. You have to be open to constructive criticism, because simply because a person doesn't see your vision executed the exact way that you do doesn't mean that they don't see portions of the vision. And that was a frustrating point for us to try to get past, was just because I didn't always see it exactly like you saw it didn't mean I was trying to kill the vision. So yeah, I would say most of the time he's much more excited to present the idea than when I receive it. Because once he starts talking, I'm thinking about some of the road bumps along the way. Immediately, that's the first thing I start thinking of are road bumps. Well, what about this and what about that? And those questions would make him feel like I wasn't on board.
Yeah,
And it wasn't that I wasn't on board.
Yeah.
I just simply was curious. Did you think about this? Did you think about this? Did you think about this? But it's very seldom that I'm not on board. It's just that my thought pattern, my execution pattern is a little bit different. And hers may be a little bit different in that regard. So you just have to be open and receive some of the feedback.
Yeah. And she's just like that, Kimmi, exactly like that. She will ask me questions, and those questions will make me feel intimidated because I don't have the answers. And then I will start thinking about that. I'm like, you know what, it's not going to work. It's done. All right, next. And I will kind of, because it seemed to me like it's too hard now. She just made it more difficult for me to achieve. And I didn't see those things. And then I'll be over, you know. So thank you so much for answering that question. I'm sure, because you definitely helped me. And, you know, you both helped somebody on here as well who's probably going through the same thing that I'm going through. So tell me more about the show. You know, you guys excited about, because I know the new season is coming out.
Yeah, it's always a little exciting to see, you know, what they put together. A lot of people don't know that even though we sit in these scenes and, you know, we're recording and everything else, we don't see what comes out until you guys see it. So, yes, it's interesting to see how, you know, they put everything together, what they put in and what they leave out, you know. So it's we anticipate it just like you guys do.
Yeah. I mean,
like our scenes are 2 to 4 hours, and they'll take that 2 to 4 hours, and it'll be about 7 minutes of a clip. And so it's literally like we're seeing the show the same time you're seeing it, because a lot of people say, well, you're on it, you recorded, you did this. I record with him, I may record with T. I don't see all of the other people who record. So I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're recording. And so once it gets put all together in a nice little package, we kind of all see it at the same time. So we're anxious about Saturday.
Oh, that's nice. So you guys, wow. That's nice. So you guys can sit down and relax and you kind of watch it. And it's not like, you know, like you're watching it as a guest.
That's why we tell our friends and everybody, these fans, don't text us, don't DM us, because Saturday night on OWN's 9, 8 Central, we're watching our show. So when people call you on the phone, you're like, you know I'm watching TV. Me, like on TV, right?
Hit me on a commercial.
Right.
Do you guys get that a lot, though?
We see it at the same time. So we don't want interruptions. We want to watch it. We want to enjoy it just like everybody else.
Do you guys get that a lot, though? Do you, like if you're watching the show, that people are texting you, like, yo, bro.
Absolutely.
All of it. I can't believe she said he said, what can you, like, hold.
People that know you and people that don't. My mother will text me like, did he really do that?
Yeah.
Or, you know, people will actually pick up the phone and call you. And you want to pick up. You're like, hey. And then you want it to be quick. Like, ask me your question quick. And they're talking. I'm like, I'm on TV. So it's comical.
I know, it's so beautiful because that's like the dream, and I love it that because I never really spoke to someone or couples who are married and do it together. You know, I'm just thinking back to my last relationships, and I'm trying to do something with, like, you know, my exes or someone else in a relationship, but it didn't work because some people feel as it's hard to work together and it's easier working apart. Like, you just follow your dream and you follow your dream. How do you guys feel as if? Do you feel as if working together strengthens your marriage?
There are obstacles.
Yeah.
There are obstacles. I mean, because I would think for me, the biggest obstacle is not taking pitfalls from work home. You know, if you disagree on a project at work, you don't want to carry it home into your bedroom, you know? And it's funny because we went to a premarital counselor who told us we were so alike. That was causing most of our disagreements because we were so alike. Prior to that visit with her, if you would have asked either one of us, we are consummate believers that we're polar opposites. Consummate believers that we're polar opposites. And we always felt like that was what kept us in such differencing of opinion. But when you narrow it down, the differencing of opinion isn't really the concept, but the execution.
Yeah.
And so it's about coming to a middle ground, you know, and I think because he's such a free spirit and creative, it does help me. It helps me branch out into areas that otherwise would have taken me a few more years to actually get to.
Yeah, yeah. And I could see it too. You know, I ain't no visionary or nothing like that. But I can see what you guys, you know, of course, watching the show and seeing those different things. But there's a lot of people who jump on here and there's a lot of comments and it says, you know, you guys are realists. And I love how authentic you guys are and how vulnerable and how easy it is to talk about the parts that need adjusting and then the parts that you know that's flourishing. You know, because a lot of people will come on here and I remember I had a guest before and it was just talking about how perfect their marriage was. And in the back of my head, I was getting so upset, I was sweating, and I wanted to say something, but I was like, let me keep it calm and smile. But because you know, people don't like to let you know that it gets dirty. You know, like sometimes me and my wife we get arguments, we don't be speaking, but we still share a child. So you better go get her from school today. I'm like, I can't get her from school. But you know, of course, I go get her anyway because I ain't gonna tell her no or something like that. You know, so it's difficult, right? But I love the authenticity of it. So any other projects that you guys are working on together or separately that you believe everyone should know about if they don't?
We're actually sitting in our room that we're going to do a podcast in, right?
I was just thinking, oh my God, Maurice, I promise you, I was like, yo, y'all need a podcast. Y'all need to do it. Oh, yeah, go ahead, get on that.
Hey, you see this? We got the mics and everything, and we just started talking about it recently, and there's so much information. This is something that you know I know that I was supposed to do. However, it's always something else that's going on, right?
Yeah.
And I had to stop myself, force myself to set aside the time because we don't know when our expiration date comes, right? And there's so much information as far as our experiences,
Yeah.
as far as things that we've overcome. There's so many things that we can share that are valuable. And if you don't communicate this information to your target audience, then that can get lost with you when you leave.
That's deep.
So
Yeah.
the pressure of now, I think that recently we've been focusing on that. And then, you know, some of the number one hurdles that we faced is, you know, we did it alone. We had to figure it out, right? And I think that it's really important that we talk about what you just discussed, the how, right? The ugly side to it, you know, the part that no one wants to talk about. When someone comes on here and everything's perfect, man, that can't help me because my life ain't perfect. And it never has been, you know. Even though it's better now, it's still trials and tribulations that come along with it. So I think that us sharing our pitfalls, sharing the real and, you know, some of the reality and helping people get to where, you know, they want to be that's what we're about.
And you know what I love about that? Someone once told me that a book is one thing that will outlive you, right? And when we're gone from here and our body is gone and our presence is gone and, you know, and your voice is gone, you have something that outlive you. And what's so beautiful about that is that my father used to write letters, right, to me. And I lost my father last year. And what's crazy is I can still have the letters. You know, I can still read the letters. I still have something. So when people write books, it's such a big deal. I clap. I'm so happy. I don't care how much book sales you have. You wrote a book, which means when you're gone, somebody out there is going to read your words and know. And you left back something, like you said. You leave back something that could help someone, that can help someone grow through challenging times. And podcast does that, right? Because you just stream it and you just throw it out there, and someone is going to grab it and say, you know what? Kimmi words really changed my life. Maurice words really changed my life. And sometimes I feel as if we do a disservice by just holding all of that information in and not really blessing other people with our words, our knowledge. And even with the short 26 minutes that we were on here, it was so much value on here that can change so much people's lives. This is a podcast. We just did a podcast. This is a podcast. You can just strip the audio from. You can just strip the audio from this and throw this on something, right? So that's awesome. Kimmi, I know that you have another show on. That's the HGTV. The real estate
Oh, that was a episode.
episode.
I
Okay.
wish I did have a whole nother show.
Mm-hmm.
They invited me to do an episode for them because
Mm-hmm.
they had a client here in Huntsville that
Mm-hmm.
was interested in purchasing a home, and so I did that with them. I am certainly open to doing more. I had a great time. Like I had an amazing time. I thought it was informative. It was fun. It was I don't know, it's just new for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's different from this type of reality because it was just the client and I,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to castmates where you have 6 to 8 different people that you have to interact with. It was a lot of looking with just my little my buyer.
Yeah.
So I'm certainly open to more of those. But yeah, it was an episode. It was called 𝐥𝐤𝐬𝐷 Wants Extra Large on
Mm.
HGTV.
Okay. So what you did? You find the houses for them?
It was House Hunters.
Yeah, it was House
Oh, okay,
Hunter.
okay, yeah.
And the goal was they tell you their requirements, and your job is to go out and find these homes suitable to them. And most episodes had come up with 3 homes,
Yeah.
one usually in the price point, one a little higher, one kind of dead on. And then they pick. They
Yeah.
pick from one of those 3 houses.
Okay, that's nice. I'm gonna come on there when we get a house. That's what I'm trying to get. Yeah.
Okay.
I told my wife, I want like 6 bedrooms. She's like, what are you doing? Matter of fact, let me ask a question. Do you have different preferences for where you wanted to go? Like, not the requirements, but the little extra, like the 2 tubs in the 1 master bedroom,
You
or
said for me or for my
for both of
client?
you, No, I'm talking about you guys personally. Or
Oh
the 2
no, man,
sinks.
that's a whole other interview because he wants everything that the law will allow.
Me too.
Me in particular, I'm just not that particular.
Hmm.
And I just never have been. I want to be comfortable. I want it to look nice. I want it to feel like home. And so we talk about our next home
Hmm.
often, and he's in charge of that because he has a list this long of all the
Hmm.
things that he must have.
Listen, she's really, go along to get along until she sees my list. Then
Hmm.
it's like whittle it away. 'Cause I
Yes.
love contemporary design. Like I would want, 15,000 square feet, white marble all the way throughout, white walls, maybe black and white, and a lot of glass,
Hmm.
overlooking the city or overlooking the water. And you know what? She says that feels really cold. I want some carpet.
It does, thinking about it because of the glass and the
That
marble
looks like a
floors.
hotel, Maurice.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah, but my
but it's true.
idea is like really contemporary. I love contemporary homes, contemporary art. That's my thing.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about that because that list is like my list, man. My list is huge. I'm talking about like bathrooms, his and hers. You might think it's a woman who kind of created the list. I'm not, she has to have a separate sink. That's number one. I mean, right now we have a separate sink, but she has to have another separate sink because it's like I don't use that much. I just got a toothbrush, the toothpaste, shaver, everything right there. But with her is I don't know what earrings is doing in the earrings is this, is that, is so much the eyelashes that one of it is this. I'm like, it's everywhere, So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to know. So anything else that you guys you said about can you talk more about your ebook though? I need to get that.
The ebook, like I said, it was my first compilation of recipes. And most of it came because even prior to the show, I simply one day I'll cook and I'll just post dinner, like a picture of what I cooked. And I like to post from beginning to end because I get tickled when people post what they made for dinner. And you're not quite sure, was it out of a box? Was it from a can? Where'd you
Hmm.
get it from? Did you already make it?
Yeah.
So I post stuff from beginning to end so people can actually see these are
Yeah.
the ingredients I put in it. And I like simple stuff. Like even though I really like to eat, I really don't want to be in the kitchen for 4 and 5 hours just doing, you know, tedious things.
Yeah.
So I like minimal ingredients, pretty simple things to cook. And because I would post, people would DM me or reach out and ask me for the recipe. So one day, actually, I was talking to my son, Jalen, and Jalen suggested that I do an ebook. He said, why don't you put all the recipes in digital form and they can just go buy it? And so it took me a minute because I don't really use that many recipes. So I kind of had to remake stuff and write it down and how much did I put in it. So it took a little time. It's a book of love. And there are about 15 recipes. It's only $10. And it's on my website, which is 𝐿𝐸𝐷𝐿.com. And you download it. You know, you download it and put it on your computer or wherever, and it's $10.
Okay, that's good. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab that today because we don't have enough time to cook. That's the thing. Like, we don't cook at all. It's
Really?
so hard. Yeah, it's hard.
Who does the cooking at your house?
Because you said we don't cook.
No, my wife, she cooks. Like when we're like home for like a day or we have a good time, we're like when family's there, she's cooking and she's going to cook. She's gonna go to the grocery, get something to eat and cook me. Valentine's Day, her birthday.
Really?
When was the last time I did it? Yeah. But it's always the same thing. Like mashed potatoes, you know, 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 box, easy, just throw it in there. Maybe the
That's
one.
my next question. I was going to say, is it mashed potatoes from potatoes?
No, real potatoes. I cut up the potatoes, I smash them, and then
okay.
I boil them first, of course. You know, boil them up, then I make that, put some chives on it a little bit, put a little bit of seasoning on it, and I like to make it look good. And then and I like to do it for my girls. Like if I do it, like really, like I will set up the table, I make it look nice. Because if I do it, I do it big, you know. Because I ain't gonna do it again. You might never know, you know. Like I like it short, so I don't know what's last time I'm gonna cook. So then I really, put it together and make it look good for it. I try to cut Uber Eats. That crap is expensive. Uber Eats,
Right.
That thing is a whole crazy, other beast. But yeah, man. Maurice, you got a book coming out?
No, I don't have a book coming
I know
out.
you don't. I'm asking, man. I'm trying to get something out of you.
I'm going to eventually write a book. I'm going to eventually write a book just because I think that there's a journey. There's a lot of stuff that I've actually learned over my life that I think that will be very, very beneficial. Even going to law school and learning how to master that after being out for 15 years. I think that there's some really good stuff that I can pass along just with the science of solving problems.
Yeah.
But that's something else I got to put off till later. Let me get the spoken word first, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, man, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you guys. I love you guys for being on here today, and I really appreciate your knowledge and understanding from both of you guys, because there's so much wisdom and knowledge and understanding that you can learn from people, who's been married, who's doing so much with their life, who's so aligned, who's so gifted, and who's just sharing their gifts and talents with the world. Like you said, Maurice, earlier, our time here, we don't know. We don't know. So we have to, I remember one thing that my pastor therapist always tell me, coach, actually, not therapist, pastor therapist. Coach, he says, every day be loving, anytime like I'm having, like, me and my wife, we have our disagreements, our arguments, but days I can't stand her. He was like, Keishorne, you still have to be loving. And I'm like, but why? Why do I have to? He's like, no, but because you can only worry about you. You're not worrying about her. Just worry about your reaction. Worry about what you're going to do. Don't worry about that. And I'm like, but like I said, life is short. So we just got to keep being loving. That's what you guys are doing. You lead by example, and you can tell by, how much people showed up for you today. You guys have any other jewels or wisdom that you want to leave with the people about anything that we spoke about?
We adore everyone that is supportive of our show. We need it. We appreciate it. We love it. This is a place we never would have thought we would be. And there's never a time that we want anyone to be turned away that wants to say hi. I'll get DMs and stuff from people saying, oh, I saw you at the post office, but I didn't want to bother you. And I'm like, say hi. Like, we're so open. We're like so open to that, because if it wasn't for everybody who supports us, it wouldn't be us. And so we're grateful for the opportunity that we have. We're grateful for the platform that we have. Be mindful that hopefully by the end of the summer or maybe first of fall, we are trying to come up with an event for entrepreneurs that financially will help assist them with startup companies that they may have. So look for that up and coming soon, some, advertisement in that regard. I think it's going to be wonderful. I think it's going to be a great, 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 great event. And nobody's going to want to miss it. So please, please, please tag your friends. Follow Maurice, follow Kimmi, _K. Miami Reese, and make sure that y'all stay tuned for our event this summer. We're going to call it the Game Changer, but I don't want to tell you much more of it than just that. But bear in mind that it'll really be an event to not miss.
That's good. And send me all that information. Send me all the details. I'm posting everywhere. I can make a video or whatever it is. I throw it on there. Anything to bring them closer to that, because I know you guys are going to really, bless them with that. Maurice, you got anything to tell the people before we out?
Yeah, just one last thing. I just want you guys, man, to make sure that you embrace the day and love out loud. The people that you care about, the people that you love, make sure they know it. Give them their flowers right now.
Yeah, that's really good. I don't know. Stop, Maurice.
Listen, we recently literally just went through a loss of a really good friend that was introduced to us by Marcel and Tisha. One of their really good friends that was unexpected. So we had some visions of clarity this week. And the fact that tomorrow is not promised is probably the understatement of the year. Like literally the understatement of the year. So be mindful of what you feel is a priority in your life and who is a priority in your life.
That's good.
We don't know our numbers.
So since we're on here, Maurice, I love you.
Love you too, brother.
Kimmi, I love you.
All right. I love you too.
All right. So thank you guys so much for your time. Again, I really appreciate it. And we got to do this again. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow them. Slide in the DM. And if you see, don't slide in Maurice's DM. Ladies and I have to correct myself. Don't slide nobody DM. Just watch the show. Right? Just watch the show. And also buy the cookbook, because I'm about to buy the cookbook right now as soon as I jump off of this. All right. Thank you so much. Is there any way I could get cookbooks for everybody else? Like people who
they're digital download. So for every one that you purchase, it will allow you 2 downloads.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So they're digital downloads. So every one you purchase is a digital download, and it'll get you 2 downloaads.
Okay, nice. So
some people, because some people will order 3, and I'll email them and I'll say, it's not a hard copy, it's a digital download. They're like, oh, I know. And I was like, okay.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
It's a digital download.
Okay, excellent. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful night until we meet again.
Thanks a lot.
Take it easy. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.